Now it's time to add the search functionality here. So if we go to our application, we see that we have this nice looking search. But if we type in something like, suppose, next.js, now if I try to search it, I don't get anything. It's just a question. So I want to fix this up. I want to have the functionality here. So I could go to a search page, right? And then we could do all these things. So basically what I want is like a search, and then I could go to this page. This doesn't exist right now, so I have to create this. So let's go over here. Let's cross all of these things out, close all. Let's go and collapse everything. And the first thing that we gonna come across is the header, because we know that that's the nav bar. That's where the search input field exists. This is the nav bar. So let's go here to the client. We'll find the nav bar by going into the source components, and then we have here the nav header. Sorry. So the header is the nav bar, exactly. And over here, what we want is the first thing is you want to actually get the search term, basically, the keyword, what you're going to type in, like Next.js, it's going to give you a question. So basically, it's going to be like question, and then we're going to have search, and then we have term, and then you could just equal anything like banana or anything like that. And that's basically your search term. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to save this, whatever this search term is, we're going to save that state here. Okay, so how do we save that? I'll tell you how to do it. So let's create a state for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in the header, and over here we have the state. So the first thing we could do is we could say, so we could say, what's happening here? Yeah, finally. There's a little lag, but I hope it fixes. Okay, so now we have const. Okay, it's fixed. It's fixed. Now what we're gonna do is, it's fixed now, and we could have. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find const, and then over here what we want is the search term. So we could say const search term. What am I? Const search term like this, and then we have set search term. Okay, and then we have use state, so use state, and then something like that. So this is our search term initially. You're going to import this if not existing. Okay, now we have the search term, amazing, and we want to use this with our use effect. So I'm going to tell you what this means. So we'll have a use effect hook, and then we'll have this, and over here we'll have the dependency array, and over here we're gonna be changing based on the location. So we could just say location.search. Okay, now we're gonna have to do some of these things. So first thing is we're gonna have to try to get this location out, right? So this is coming from React Router DOM. If you go here, I believe I have React Router DOM. So we have use location, and the we also need use navigate. Okay, so we're going to be using all these. So over here, let's just define so const, and we'll have location. So we could have over here const location is equal to, and then we have use location. Now we're getting based on location.search. This means search everything from the URL. Okay, and I'll show you what this actually means. So in the use effect, what we could say is const, and we have URL parameters. So URL params like that, and then we have new URL search param. So this is from JavaScript, it's provided, and we can say location.search. Okay, we want to search from the entire URL, and we get the URL params there. Okay, from the URL params, what you want to extract is the search term key, right? You want that extracted. So what you want to do is you want to say const search term from URL is equal to URL params, okay, dot get, and then you could have this search term like this specified. Okay, so now you got the search term. You basically have the condition. So if the search term from URL is existing, what you want to do is set search term, that you state, and you basically put in that set search search term. Now this is so good. Now what you're going to do is you could simply console.log and see this in action. So console, if I could get this right, console.log, and then we have search term. Okay, so I want to show you that whatever we're going to be typing, it's going to be in our log. So one thing over here we got to fix up is, first of all, the reference use effect is not defined. I thought I imported it, but no. Control space and now. Okay. Okay. Now everything is there, and you see the search term is banana over there and coming from there, which is good. Now let's refresh this one more time. You can see it's still banana. But it says over here no routes match location. It doesn't really matter. We don't have that route. Let's just add that route right now. But you could just say anything like, you know, JavaScript. Okay, and then it's going to come over here as JavaScript, which is good. One part is done. Now the next part is to add a page for this because we don't have the search page. So let's go here, and you know, we have to add up pages. So we'll go to the components, and then over here we have pages. We're going to create a page called search. So we don't have one. We'll call the page called search.jsx. Over here we'll just do a simple raf c. Okay, and we'll have the search over here. So one second, I don't know why it double. Okay, so search. Okay, and then over here we could simply have the thing registered in app.jsx. So if you go here, you have these routes. So you see these public routes. Right after this sign up, you could have route, path, search. So basically search. Okay, and then element, and then you have search, like search, and then you have so we have search, and then over here we have this, and then we have this. So basically you could have the search saved. Now if you go back here and you refresh this, so basically right now we have this search. If I type in, I still don't get search. Interesting. So let's see, search, and over here we have capital. Yeah, so SEA, I didn't spell it right. So first / and then search, like that. Okay, I hope this is correct now because you know, it's added. So let's just see now in action. It should be there, perfect. And even if I add some extra things like question, search term, it's still not gonna, you know, move or go away. Now, you know, you could see that JavaScript being there as well. Super cool, super amazing. Now let's go back here, and instead of this search term console log, we want this to be completed. So let's go to the header, and over here we have the use effect, which is working really fine, and you know, it seems to work really good. But the thing is, now we have to go to the you know, the place where we're actually having this input field. So the search term, you know, the search thing. So that's in our you know, it's basically here in our form, and we have this, you know, search basically, and this is the text, type text. Okay, in here we want to have the value. So we gotta have the value set to our search term. So let's say search term. Now right here immediately you'll have something. 1 minute, if I could. Yeah. So you can see immediately right now you have JavaScript populated. But what we want to do is whatever we type, whatever we type has to be reflected there. So right now you could say on change is equal to, and then we have event, which is E, and then over here we have set search term, like that, and then over here we have e.target.value. So if you understand from here, we have on change, and then we have event, and then set search term. So whatever search term we have, we basically you know, change it depending on what whatever it changes it to. So, you know, set search term, it just automatically changes. Okay, this is good. I mean, now this is gonna have unexpected. Okay, one problem came here is that unexpected token semicolon appeared JSX fragment, and which one it has over here. Okay, so line number 77. Okay, it's not saved. Just save it. Now that should be gone. Okay, so now I want to show you one thing is that, okay, let's see, clear it. Okay, everything is good. So now one problem here is that, look, I suppose write JavaScript 1, 2, 3, press enter, you know, that thing is gone. You know, I don't have it anymore. So what I want is, yes, I have the search term here from my URL, it captures it. So I say JavaScript, okay, whatever I say here, it gets it. But what I want is, okay, so slash, then question. So when I say search and then question search term is equal to JavaScript, it works here, right? It populates it here. And then whenever I change something and then I press, enter, it does populate it, but I can't do it from here, right? When I do it from here, it goes away. Now I want to fix that problem as well. So this is actually a form. So form has a thing called on submit. Okay, so on submit, and then over here we have the handle submit. So we have the handle submit function. We could actually go here and have the handle submit function defined. So right here we have the const. So okay, const handle submit, and then we have over here we have event, and then we have e equal to semicolon, and then over here we have e dot prevent default. Okay, so this is going to prevent from the default refreshing of the form submission, and down after that we have const url params is equal to. So we have url params is equal to, and then we have new url params, search params, coming from that same exact thing, but location is equal to search. I hope you understand all of this part, because this is exactly redundant than what we did before. Now we're basically getting the URL search params from the location.search from the URL, and that's the URL params. We have to detect if we find, okay, so what we say is over here URL search params. So URL params dot set, and then over here we have equal search term, and over here we have search term. I hope this is cleared as well. And what I mean over here is that we have the the location dot search from the URL, and then we say URL params dot set, and then we're basically setting the search term on the search term thing we have. It's basically gonna have all of that, and we're saying whatever that URL search has a search term that comes from the URL, you have to save it as the search term, whatever is inside of this state. I hope this made sense, because whatever I have over here, like JavaScript 123 in my state, has to be inside of, it has to match the equal search term equals to, like question search term is equal to JavaScript. So it has to match no matter what. So it's going to do it consistently. Okay, so now after that we have const, and then we have search query. Now basically going to have to change this to a string. That's why I have to say query is equal to URL params. So we have URL params dot toString. Okay, this is going to convert that thing to a string, so that it's a nice looking query. And then once it's done, we could basically navigate to that specific thing. So we have backtick search, and then inside, remember, we have question, and then whatever we want. Suppose this is dynamic, so we have search query in here. Okay, this query is like whatever you want, like JavaScript 123 or whatever. So that's our handle submit. And now, because this is there, I believe everything should be working as accordingly. So let's go here, and now let's just type in apples. And now if I press enter, okay, if I press enter, it's supposed to trigger the on submit, but it's not working. Let's go here, submit console. And we're getting an issue navigate is not defined. So let's go here, and which line is it? So it's navigate. Wow, navigate. Now it should work. So let's go here, and okay. So let's go and say apples and press enter. Okay, same thing. No results. So inspect console, and now we get navigate is not defined. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to define this. I think we forgot to add it here. So we have navigate here from use navigate, and then we have to add it. So essentially you got the location, you could also get the const navigate, navigate is equal to navigate is equal to use navigate, and that's from this thing from React Router DOM. Now let's see, refresh. The errors are gone. Okay, so if I say apples, press enter, and there you go. Search question, search term is equal to apples. And now if I say 1, 2, 3, enter, it automatically adds it here. And then if I say 1, 2, 3 over here, so it basically adds it here as well. Perfectly done. We got our search term and we're modifying it based on our URL and capturing it from the URL using, really cool URL search params, and it's amazing. Now this is working and functioning properly. This is all good. Now that we have done this, we basically have to go on to the next part, which is the search page, because we get this URL, like based on this URL we're getting, we want to search. No, suppose if I say not that, but I want a blog based on JavaScript, right? So I basically search this and I want the search page to be reflected and show only JavaScript blogs. So let's go and fix this up. So in the search page, it's pretty simple and easy. What we could do is first focus on the UI, and then we can move on to the next part. So my take here is, first of all, get a single, let's suppose, div over here, and then in here we can have an inside div. Okay, now there's a form, okay, and then in this form we have a div, so we'd have a div, okay, and then in that div would have a label, okay, and then that label will be called search term, like that, and then here we have the label close, and then in here we'd have a text input, a flow byte one, so text input from flow byte, and essentially we could close it. But what we want here is some values and traits. So let's suppose we want the placeholder, so we'll have the placeholder is equal to, and then we have search dot dot dot, search dot dot dot, and then we have ID, which is search term, and then we have the type, which is text, and then we have the value, which is something we could later on add, but right now we could just have something like search term. Okay, so I want to show you that this is going to exist, so we don't need that, and we could just close it like that. Okay, so now that we have done this, let's show that. So you can see this is search term, and then there's this input field. I can't modify it right now, don't worry. Let me add it and make it really nice. So what is required here is the first thing we basically have to do here is we have to go on the top and we have to define some states. So over here within our component, we want to have some states defined. So we have this called sidebar data. Okay. Sidebar data will contain set sidebar data, and it will contain by default some of the followings. It would contain a search term. So suppose you want to search for JavaScript blogs, right? So you need to have an empty list. So by default it would be empty. By default the sort of it would be in descending order. So it would get the latest blogs, okay? And in ascending order it will give you the oldest blogs first. But in descending order it will give you the latest blogs. And over here would have the category, and that should be set by default to uncategorized. So we could say uncategorized, like that. Okay, so that's good. I mean, we have everything there. We could basically have a console.log to show the sidebar data, and it's just going to give you the same exact thing. So let's go here and inspect console, and then you have, okay, you provided a value prop to a form field without an onChange handler. All right, and I just have to save it. Come on. Okay, so now we got more errors. So use state is not defined. Let's add in use state. Where are you? There. Okay, so there, and then we have there's our search term, nothing. Sort is descending, category is uncategorized, and you can see over here the same thing is going here. So search terms, category uncategorized, search term, and sort. Okay, and that basically it sorts it in alphabetical order, and then this is how it actually appears, right? We have this warning. We'll fix this warning later on. If the field should be mutable default value, otherwise set either onChange or read only. Okay, so I believe it's value prop to a form field without an on-change handler. Yeah, I understand what it is talking about. It's talking about this thing. So you're not supposed to just randomly add that. Now if I remove it, you know, it's going to be gone. So refresh, now it's going to be gone. See that? So now we're going back here, and we're going to have to create some states here. So the first state we're going to need is the const handle, so const posts. So this is going to be for the post, and we say set post, and it's basically the post that we search for. We could set it to a null list, empty list, and then we have const loading. This is going to be set loading, and by default it could be set to just false because we don't have anything loading, so like that. And then the last thing is the show more. So we have show more. This is going to be set show more for more blogs, and then we have set use state, and then we could set that to false in the initials. Okay, now we have you know, the location again. So we have const location, and then we have equal to use location, and then you already know where this is coming from, what location as well as the navigate. So let me have navigate as well, and then let me import it. Navigate is equal to use navigate. Now where are these coming from? These are coming from import use location and use navigate from React Router DOM. Now we have both of these really cool things, and they have their own use cases. We'll go and add a use effect hook, and this is gonna help us track the changes. Okay, so we have this. Okay, and then it's gonna basically have this imported as well. Okay, so now over here we have the use effect hook basically has the const URL params, and remember we're getting it from new the URL search params like that, and then we have location dot search. This is coming from the entire search, remember? So that's good. I mean, location dot search is over here as well. Based on the URL, if it changes, you know, we call this SEARCH. Okay, we basically call this use effect over and over. Okay, so now over here we have so we have here, we have is const search 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 term from URL is equal to, okay, so over here we have URL params, okay, URL params dot get, and then we have search term, so search term like that. Okay, so I want to show you one thing is that we're getting the URL params. This is, remember, the URL params, okay, coming from the URL, and then you say I want the search term, you know, question search term equal to, so I want to get that value, whatever that value is, goes into the search term from URL. You could basically get that, and then you say I want the same thing goes for you know, not just the search term but sort from URL, and this is URL.get sort, and then the category from URL. Okay, so these three things you're gonna get, and then you could basically say if search term from URL, so search term from URL, sort from URL, or category from URL. Okay, so basically what we say, set sidebar data. This is gonna be like this. So we have dot 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 sidebar data. All that sidebar data that exists before does exist, but if you have a search term that's changed, then update that. If you have a sort that's changed, then update that. If you have a category that's changed, then update that. That's all what it means, and you know, everything else looks good. Okay, so that we have this use effect really nicely done, but we have a function we have to say is fetch fetch post, and this is going to be an asynchronous call, so it's going to be like this and then like that. Okay, and now we have to obviously fetch post like that, but over here we have is set loading. So set loading, and then you could have this to true when you want to call this API. Okay, so we have the, you know, query. So we have a const search query and search query, and then we have is equal to URL params. Okay, URL params dot toString. I want to explain what this is what it means. We have the URL params, okay, which is right here. We convert those URL params to a string, okay, and we basically call that as our search query. Now, this is gonna essentially be, like suppose question search term, and then equal to, whatever, okay, and then we have and sort, like you could see that it's pre-filling, so and sort is equal to descending, okay, and then we have and again and category is equal to uncategorized. So basically it's this entire chunk, okay, so that's the search query. And we have we basically go and say const res is equal to the await and then fetch, okay, and now it comes in handy. So we say this backticks slash API slash post slash basically get posts, okay, and then we have question, and then we have the search query. So basically gets the search query, not remember where we had question search term, okay, so equal to, and then we have question search term is equal to bananas, right, and then we have whatever the sort. Now it's basically saying, now ignore my banana spelling, it's wrong, I know that, but it's saying question, and then after that whatever comes in, like this is our query. So that's our query, okay, search query, and that's coming from this URL params .toString. Okay, search sort from, so that's basically URL params, okay, so coming from URL search params and then location dot search. Okay, so now that we have this API call, what we could do is we could simply have if, and then we have response is not okay. So if the response is not okay, what we could do is simply have the set loading to false, and then we could have the the thing just return like that. And then what we want to do is if the response is okay, good enough, we could basically have the entire thing saying like const data is equal to await, and then we have response.json, and then there you go. So what is happening here is that we make the call. Now we basically convert the thing to data because it's cleared. We set the post to the data. Now you remember that we get posts in here. Remember the post, total post, and then post last month. We're getting only the post, all the posts. We put in the set post, set loading. We'll set to false because now we're done with that. If the data.post.length was 10, okay, or 9, let's just have it 9, we'll have set show more to true, okay, meaning that if the length is equal to 9, we want that show more, else we could have set show more to false. So set show more to false, and that's exactly how this would go. And that's how this API call would work. Okay, so now I want to show, if we can format document, this is all use effect, okay, this is all use effect, and it's basically handling all of this stuff. Amazing. Okay, this is so cool. And right now if I have this post loading and we have show more, if I could have this somewhere, let me say sidebar data contains all of this stuff, right? But we could also have, let me just comment that, and then we'll have console.log post, not sidebar data, but post. Now I want to show you that the sidebar data does reflect, but let's first of all see the sidebar data. So let's go here. Right now you can see by default JavaScript, and remember the reason why it's like that is because over here we have JavaScript. Okay, now the sort is null, and then we have category null. The reason over here is like, let's refresh this once. Okay, so in the beginning it was null, descending, and uncategorized by default, and then with JavaScript, no sort and null. So that's 100% working. If I just have something like search. Okay, so right here you could see right now I didn't do anything. That's why it's by default having all of that there, which is good. And then we have API post and get post. Okay, so you know it's having this issue with the get post, which is totally fine. So get post, and then we have question, and then we have dollar, and then search query. I just want to see one thing is that if I could get this post. Okay, so if I say this, okay, this is gonna give you an issue. What is it? Cannot access post before initialization. Where is it? Post. Oh, so over here. Sorry. So let me just have console.log, and then we have post like that. Okay, so let's check this out. Right now the posts are nothing because our query is just random. So we could have search term is equal to, let's say, I don't know, something, hi, okay. No routes matching location, hi, or hello. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, I'm trying to basically figure this out, but you know, we need to add more stuff actually. So, I mean, that was just random. And what we're going to do is just going to remove this as well. Okay, so all of that was good. I mean, now what we want to do is just add the UI a little bit more. Okay, so let's get the UI and make it better with Tailwind CSS classes. So that it looks nice. Let's have this over here, and then let me explain whatever this is. Okay. Of course, there's going to be some issues, but there's this major div, and then in here there's another div, and then in here there's this form, right? Okay, this form has a lot of things, so let's cover this form out. First of all, it has this handle submit function, so we're going to have to define this. Const handle submit handle, okay, handle submit, okay, okay, okay. So we have handle show more function as well. Okay, and anything else? Okay, right now we'll have a handle submit, and in here we have this div, and then in here we have this search term, and then we have a text input, and we have on handle change. Okay, handle change. I think we need that handle change. Okay. So we have handle change, and then we have sidebar data dot sort value is based on that, the oldest and latest, and handle change, and then we have options, and then we have apply filters, and then all of this stuff, and loading and show more. So let me just quickly go here, refresh. Okay, search. I have to go to search actually. Okay. So we got select is not defined, and that's basically part of 96. This is basically the flow byte selector. Anything else? Button is not defined, and that's line number 414. So over here. Okay, so now essentially, you know, things would work. You see this filter, you have these really nice categories, and you could apply the filter. Based on that filter, you want the post to be executed here. So this is basically the goal here. So basically you could have the folders, category, React.js, whatever it is, and then apply over here. So whatever you do, apply it here, and then it should populate it for you. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just have this API fixed up. All of this has to be filled. Okay, handle change and all that. So let me just explain that for you. So now over here we have, okay, from here we have the use effect. Everything over here was defined and explained, like use effect was explained how it all does its trick. Location.search, meaning whenever the URL changes, the use effect starts triggering and working. We have this handle change. Now we have handle submit, and then we have okay. So let's talk about handle change. Well, whenever you change your search term, it basically gets the sidebar data existing one. It will change the search term here inside that. If you change your sort, you basically gets the e.target.value. If not given, it will just make it as descending, and that's the order. And it will put the sidebar data, and it will just change the sort to order, okay? Whatever is given here. And for the category, we have category. If it's not given, uncategorized, and you just put it in the sidebar data, and all the remaining stuff goes with it. Handle submit. Whenever you submit your search query, you will have the, whenever you press enter on that search input, you'll have the URL search params to get to the location.search, and then after that, it will go and get the search term, the sort, and category from your, query, that entire string, and it would say sidebar data.search term. It will try to basically incorporate this, and it will start setting them, okay? Whatever you put in your filters. Once you do, it will now trigger that query. So it would say search query, and then it would say slash search, and then it will make that search query. So navigate there. Handle show more, slash API slash post and get post. And you could basically put in this post, and if you have more than, 9, or, 9, and then you have the show more and all that feature functionality. So right now you could see over here, we have a really nice display. And how much we have? 3, 6, 9, show more, and we have 10. Okay, now if we just type in a random, so just I say random, okay, search term. Press random, and you have no post found. So I say random. Okay, so it's it basically has to have something in here, so something. So right now they're not going to be there. So let's just remove the search term query, and we'll go at the oldest. Okay, we have no post with the latest or oldest. We'll go to the React.js, and we have 2 React.js posts. So based on that, query. So Next.js, we have Next.js posts. Okay, and then JavaScript, we have JavaScript posts. Suppose we want to go uncategorized. Okay, there's like by default you could have that all, or you could just have this category removed. So you just say, okay, I want to go and have like this search, okay, and then it will give you all. So that's there. Basically you could click on this, and it would take you to the article. Now there's nothing in here, to be honest. It's recommended to add better posts, and then your query will start working. So basically that's the search. So just remove that, and then search React.js, and then latest, oldest. Then you could basically see this oldest and latest. Okay, so that's basically it with the search. And we're basically using our this get post. So I have to show you this. We're going to the backend. So over here in the server, and over here we have this get post search query. So if you go to the backend, and you go to the controllers, and you go to the post, so it's post.controller.js. Here we have this one, which is this one, get post. Okay, so if you go to the router, it has a router, so post.router.js, post.route.js. Over here we have get post, okay, and that's what we're calling here. So get post. Then we put a question, and we say search query, because we allow this ability to have so many different variations, right? That's exactly what we're trying to filter out, and we basically bring it here. Okay, so that was pretty cool. Now what we want to do is we want to add the about and projects page. So we close all of this and we go to the client, source, pages, about page, and then we have the projects page. We just need to add some random stuff in here. So in the about page, you could have simple text. Since this project was inspired by Sahans, so I would just recommend putting this info here. Pretty awesome. And the project, you could basically use your call to action. Remember that component, and you could use that call to action and have some cool styling here, and this would trigger everything and it would look really nice. Okay, so now if you go into the pages, you go to the about, you have this nice looking thing, and then you have the projects over here. Okay, so I want to just add it just so that I'll just say about cleverly. Okay, cleverly blog, and then we'll have we'll just put our own name. You can put your own name, okay, by coding cleverly. Okay, cleverly's blog. This is pretty much nothing. This is just no coding here, but you basically understand here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I could have had something else, but I'll just leave it like that. Projects looks good, and we'll just keep it like that. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's just go here. Thinking of adding a new post, and I'll say React new post, React power. Okay, React power, I don't know, React.js. Okay, this is a nice React blog article. Okay, I don't know, random. Okay, so let me just add some cool content here. Chat, let's use ChatGPT to add some content. So let's just go here. Write me about React.js. Okay, so now it's just gonna give you this. Just copy all of this stuff, and it's gonna finish right now. So yep, there you go. Copy it and paste it right here. It looks good. And publish. So we're unauthorized. Why? We're admins basically. So sign out. I think there's some kind of issue. Just sign out 1 second. We're allowed to actually do that. Refresh. Sign in, admin, and then go to post, profile, and then create a post. React power. Okay, React publish. Okay, we have React power, and this is our blog. Looks good. Now what we're gonna do is search for React, and we'll get our React power there. Okay, so basically if you go in this blog, say DOM, and I go here and search DOM, it gives you this because now it's searching through this, and it will give you anything in here. So I just say React.js here, or maybe Redux. I search for Redux, and it basically brings this post. Okay, so now this search query is working as well. Mostly everything is done for this, and we are now going to the part where we're going to deploy this application.